I have longs, and no one has seen this before. So I'm long something, and I've taken a lot of shit for it. I'm long something called Enovix, and it's envx. Show of hands who know Enovix here. Anyone? Oh, this is good. Okay. So, gang, this is something they're sampling with Apple, and it has not been seen in the public. So it magnets to the back of my iPhone, right? See that? Mm-hmm. And it's charging my phone, so the battery works, and it works 85%. It has 85% more power than your typical battery.
I see it. I just want to audit it so it's not some Elon Musk thing.
So it's 85% more.
It actually works. Yeah.
But
it's good.
You know, the question is, we all know battery is a big deal, and it's a really big deal, you know, especially for portables. We're not talking about EVs. If they can, I mean, that's a whole different subject. If they can make it, and I'm highly confident they can, the market is beyond huge. And your downside, and this is the way I look at it, I look at it as, I have the stock marked in my head at 3, because that's where it's going if they can't produce these things at scale and speed. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go to 3. So in my head, that's where I have it marked. I have it marked every day at 3. So I'm way down on it in my head. But if they can scale it, they're going to make NVIDIA look like it's nothing, because it's going to be in every Apple product, it will be in every Samsung product, it will be in every Dell product, it will be in everyone's product, because the battery is that much better. And it doesn't catch on fire, and you can bring it on a plane. And you know what? You know, everyone wants to be shorted or skeptical because they say batteries are hard, right? And battery companies fail. It is hard, and battery companies do fail. But these guys already have Gen 2 management, like real guys from the guy who used to run the largest division of Qualcomm, and a big-time guy from Micron. And they have funding from the Malaysian government. So if this works, and I'm a believer it works, and I think their production is really good, could be a generational type of stock. It's highly risky, and I'm not afraid of risk at all, but I think it's big time. And this guy who's the chairman, T.J. Rogers, he's my friend. And
before you owned it?
Yeah, before I owned it. I've always known him. I mean, he makes you look like a schoolgirl. I mean, this guy is just a mean, nasty guy. He's my friend, and I like him. I like him. But when we go at it,
I have schoolgirls.
But when we go at it, we went at it on one of their conference calls afterwards. He hung up on me 3 times. I hung up on him twice. But eventually, he admitted he stepped on the red button in the sand and sort of said shit he shouldn't have said. And I just said, fix it. And he said, I'll fix it. And he's fixed it. And they just did a convert, and he owns 20 million shares. He bought another 500,000 shares a month ago. He bought $10 million of the convert that they did.
Really?
Yeah. And his pal John Doerr of Kleiner Perkins fame, right? You guys all know John Doerr, right? You've heard of him? John Doerr bought 10 million of the convert.
What was the convert price?
I don't know. It was convertible at 14 up 50. But the trick with the convert, the company also bought $20 million of calls with some of the proceeds.
Oh wow!
And when you talk to the CEO after the earnings, he said the stock is just way too cheap, because he said if we can make this, and I'm highly confident we can, the stock's going to go crazy. So the company raised money to build out the fab, which they did, and used some of that money to buy long-term calls. So it's all that it's all there. There's 30 million shares short because people think the battery doesn't work or whatever. Fine, I have all my shares loaned out, but this is winner take all. This isn't a $12 stock going to 13 5/8 or 11 1/4. I mean, this is either beyond or
3.
Or I'm in the infield care center and saluting the shorts. No, and I said, you know, if you want to play something like this to make 8 points, God bless you, because these guys could come with something. I mean, this product is being sampled with Apple, so I don't know how many iPhones there are out there. I think there's a few. I mean, show of hands who has a product like this right now, or something they carry around with their iPhone to charge it. Show of hands. Okay, there's a few of you.
Yeah.
So if you can get something that lasts essentially twice as long as what's in the market, or God forbid they put 2 of these Enovix batteries in there and it would last 3 or 4 times longer. You know, the battery costs $10. Would you pay $200 for that device? I think you'd buy a couple hundred of them. So, I mean, I happen to think it's great, and we'll see. But I think things are far better there than the skeptics would have you believe. And you need a little juice now and then if you're going to be short stocks.
Well, it's like if you wanted to have a bull, you know, he's pretty well equipped bear, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
You know, when I think of like bad analysts, they don't understand how to argue the other side, right? And TJ Rogers, first of all, I didn't know that he was like tough cookie type guy. I mean,
he's a tough cookie,
but he's not known for failing.
No.
This guy, the same guy I was talking to Ahern about, the guy that keeps talking to Felix Wong about his Chinese ideas. He owns Enovix, and he's like, he wrote me an email that had 2 paragraphs, which is a lot for him, just telling me about TJ Rogers, and he actually didn't describe him the same way. He was actually explaining how accomplished this guy is and how high credibility he is.
Stan Druckenmiller owns it. I mean, in his filing, he owns 1 million shares. I mean, you can't argue how big this is,
right,
if they get it to work.
Yep.
But this guy, you know, went from $1 in end phase when they couldn't get it to work to 300. So he's put the ball over the roof before, many times in his life. And I told him, I said, no one gives a rat's ass what you've ever done, TJ. They don't give a rat's ass what I've ever done. We're being judged right here, right now. We're on the line. And he says he knows it.
And you guys threw down at each other. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he kept hanging up the phone on me when I told him the call sucks, and he scared the shit out of people. He said the call was great. I said it wasn't great. The call sucked. You scared people out of your, you know, and I said I'll send them all my DMs. But I know the score. I mean, I own a lot of this thing. I mean, and if I'm wrong, I'm terribly sorry, and I'll say I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong.
This is how the real players play the game. You know, like this guy's not trading like.
No, I'm not trading. I'm not trading this stock. I'm not in it for a 16th or buy it in the morning, sell it at night, looking at the chart. The chips are all in.
Like when you call, I have this experience in my mind of Leon Cooperman, which wasn't good for Lee, but it's the same thing. Like he was long Lin Energy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his either.
It's
all these ex-Goldman guys. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, him and the Mooch. They're both from, you know.
There's far more. Than
I have
just
friends from Goldman. It's not about that, but what Cooperman would do, like he would defend his position. Like when we went into his office, he literally put the phone in the middle of the room with me and my analyst Kevin Kaiser, and he called the CEO and literally just made the guy talk.
Yeah, that's his MO.
Yeah, and it's actually, you know, that's the right strategy. The question is, do you get the access, right? I mean, so you having access with TJ's real.
But that, I mean, I never ask them how business is.
No.
I never ask them stuff. It's more of a how do you think of this kind of thing. How do you think of this? And so Enovix screwed up on Gen 1 management with this guy, Harold Rust, and I told TJ from the start I couldn't stand him because he'd never answer a question in a straight way. I said, this guy has to go. And then, you know, Harold made mistakes and TJ got rid of him. And Harold had everyone believing how hard this was to make, because if you're screwing up, you got to blame something on instead of yourself. So he was saying the battery's hard to make. New guy, Raj, you know, who's a Qualcomm guy, he was going to run NXP for Qualcomm. He just simply said, this battery is not that hard to make. You know, we can make it. It's not, you know, a simple thing, but we can do this, and we can do this at speed. And when you walk through how they can do it and where the slow points were that they fixed, they can do it. But you know, again, the bet is, do you believe them? Do you believe it or not? Because the demand is there. They have infinite demand. And we're in a market where there's no growth stocks. So if, you know, the investing public believes they can make it, look out. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, yesterday someone bought 10,000 of the January 20 leaps and sold the 40s. I mean, someone dropped $2 million to make 20. So, I mean, bets are being placed.
Big ones.
Yeah, big ones. So that's what I like. So I'm not afraid of a challenge, controversy, drama. I mean, it is what it is. And I think this Enovix is great. And I said that Enovix was going to cross Silvergate. I said it in November that Enovix and Silvergate were going to cross, and that's when Silvergate was 20 and Enovix was 12. So now Enovix is 12 and Silvergate's $1.
Well, that's a great